Welcome to the last part of Module 3, Principles of CLIL, the 4 C's. In the previous presentations, you have learned about content, cognition, and communication. We will now discuss the 4th C in CLIL, culture. As you know, making local and global cultural connections is essential in our everyday teaching. Let's see what this means in CLIL. The culture in CLIL sometimes is also referred to as community or citizenship. It implies self and other awareness and identity, as well as progression towards pluricultural understanding. When planning, you should ask yourself if there is a cultural focus in the lesson. This could be local, regional, or international, or a contrast between them. You can make cultural links in your lessons by first focusing on the main topic, second, finding a real-life application, third, fostering reflection or discussion. In the topic of habitats, for example, you can use these as possible activities to do with your students. 1. One way to contribute with the protection of the habitat is by recycling. So, discuss what steps you could take to improve your recycling at home, at school, or in the city. 2. Are recycling policies different in other countries? If so, how? Look up an example, then briefly present your findings to your group. It's your turn to practice. How would you relate culture to the lesson on habitats? Complete the mind map. Compare the answers in your mind map with this one proposed by Coyle, Hood, and Marsh, 2010. In this module, we have learned about the 4 guiding principles in CLIL, also known as the 4 C's: content, communication, cognition, and culture. You have been able to explore what each of them entails and how they could be incorporated in a lesson. It's time to put it all together. This graph summarizes the way the 4 C's are put together on a lesson on habitats. Take a look at how each CLIL principle is realized in the classroom. The main theme for the lesson was habitats. You can see it in the center of the graph. Expanding from the theme, we find the 4 C's: content, cognition, communication, and culture. In content, you can see, for example, types of habitats, animals in the habitats, human influences and habitat conservation, organize, research, and present a mini project in groups, or understand how living things interact. In cognition, there are 5 different learning outcomes that you can work on, taking into consideration Bloom's taxonomy. If you look at the verbs, you see that there are some lower order thinking skills and some higher order thinking skills: explain, understand, represent, hypothesize, and carry out. If you look at communication, you see examples of language of learning, language for learning, and language through learning. And finally, in culture, we can see, for example, use linking organizations to find a sister class, presentation on can we really change things, engage in peer review using both classes, or focus diversity of Eastern landscape and ecosystems. Get ready to come up with ideas for your own lesson in this module's task.